Bonjour, mes amis de SKEMA. Je suis très heureux de parler avec vous aujourd'hui, mais je crois qu'il y a des personnes ici qui ne parlent pas français. Alors, je crois qu'il est meilleur que je parle en anglais. C'est vrai. Thank you very much for inviting me, Ante. It's a pleasure to be talking to you today about this very, very important issue, which is how to publish CSR and sustainability research in management journals or business journals or not niche or specialty journals. This is a very, very important question. And the issue is essentially what is a secret sauce? What is a secret sauce to publish our work on CSR and sustainability in some of these broader journals that have a very broad appeal? I get asked that question all the time. In fact, I am on sabbatical right now. I was in Argentina, New Zealand, Australia, Colombia, the UK. I just got back from London, and I get this question all the time. What is a secret sauce to publish in these very prestigious and visible journals? We usually talk about the research practice gap. Do you know what the research practice gap is? It is that managers typically do not use the research that we produce in leading their organizations. The practitioners of managers do not use our research, our knowledge in their practices. But a couple of years ago, we wrote a paper in the Journal Management Studies in which we discuss what we call the research gap, which means we researchers are not sometimes using our own research in managing our own careers, that is, in our practices of managing our own careers. So, to answer this question of publishing in top journals, not just specialty journals, we can use our own research on top research performance. What does it take to be a top researcher to publish in these very prestigious journals? And we can use our own research on performance to answer that question. Last year, we published a paper in the Academy of Management Annals. The paper is by Marshall, McGinnis, and Beltran, and it's titled Theories of Performance, a Review and Integration. And in that paper, we reviewed almost 400 theories of performance to understand what are the things that lead to top performance. And that paper is available at hermanmcginnis.com. The answer to that is that we were able to synthesize all these theories into three buckets, three variables or three sets of variables that are the cause for top performance. Number one, capabilities. Number two, opportunities. And number three, relevant exchanges or relationships. So we call these a core, CORE, core model of performance. Capabilities, opportunities, and relationships or relevant exchanges. So to be a top researcher, to be a top performer in terms of research, to be able to publish in these highly prestigious and visible journals, we need to do three things. Capabilities, we need to know how to do research well. Number two, we need to have the opportunity to publish in these journals, to target these journals. And number three, we need to build relationships, relevant exchanges. So the first issue of capabilities is if you think about who are the best surgeons, they know their tools. The best surgeons know how to do surgery. And if you think about the best plumbers know their wrenches, their screwdrivers, they know their tools. So if we want to be top researchers, we need to know how to use our tools. And our tools are our research methods. So we need to know the tools to learn the craft of doing research. Number two, opportunities, going to conferences, presenting our work. And number three, relationships, which means networking. Like, for example, Ante and I have been close friends and collaborators in the area of CSR for a long time, and we continue our friendship and our collaboration. So that's part of the relationships and relevant exchanges. But I want to now talk about the very first one because we can now be top researchers if we do not know how to do research, how to do research that is rigorous, that is credible, and that is impactful. And to do that, to learn how to do that, I wrote this book that I think Ante mentioned to you, titled Research Methodology: How to Conduct Rigorous, Credible, and Impactful Research. It was published just a few months ago. And the book is a book that I wish I had read when I was a junior scholar because it teaches you the entire process of research from the very beginning, which is what kinds of questions should I ask, how to make contributions to theory, to the very end, which is how to enhance the impact of our research after it's been published. Because if we do want to publish something, that's because we want that something to be read. Otherwise, we wouldn't try to publish it at all. But the whole process is not, research methods is not just data analysis. That is one minor, very small part of the research process. In fact, most papers are not rejected because of data analytic issues. You can always run another analysis if you have the right data, if you measured your variables correctly, and if you asked the right, interesting, important questions. So the book walks you through the entire process. And of course, research design, measurement, and also has a lot of chapters on data analysis, but it's just a few chapters. So to learn how to publish in top journals, we need to learn how to do research. And that's what I did with this book. And I hope that will be helpful to you because it shows you how to position your CSR paper, how to position your sustainability or climate change paper so that it has a broad appeal in terms of making contributions to theory. And this issue of contributions to theory seems ominous and complicated, but it is not. As I wrote in the book, a contribution to theory means that now we understand the phenomenon that we are studying better than before we did our study. That's it. So do you understand things better now than before? And is that something that you are understanding? Is that something important, not just for CSR and sustainability researchers, but for organizations overall and for society? And that said, if you can make that case, if you can say that my research allows me to understand something that organizations and society care about, this is something important, then that's your contribution to theory right there. So in closing, I'd like to emphasize that we need to narrow the research gap. We need to use our own research on how to be a top performer to manage our own careers. And that research shows that research performance is enhanced when you have the capabilities to be a top researcher. You just need to know how to do research. And frankly, the typical training in PhD programs is not sufficient. If you look at other fields like chemistry and physics and biology, you have to be trained for 10 or 15 years until you have your own lab, your own shop, when you're an independent, autonomous researcher. In management, that's not the case. In management, 3, 4, 5 years, and you are on your own. So I think that many of the rejections and frankly, heartbreaking experiences that we have of our papers being rejected is because we haven't received enough training. And that's what I'm trying to do with this book, provide the knowledge so that we can all benefit and improve our game in terms of how to do research well, research that is rigorous, that we can believe that research, that is credible, that can be replicated, and very importantly, research that truly makes a contribution to organizations and society, research that changes the world, and research that hopefully leaves the world a little better than we found it. Thank you so much. Enjoy your conference, and I hope these comments have been useful to you. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll be very happy to connect with you directly. Thank you very much. Bonjour. Merci beaucoup.